How did the relationship between you and Elizabeth start to develop?
I think as in any other workplace, I think we knew each other for years before anything besides just hello in the hallway happened, and it just I always had a lot of respect for her in the business and what she represented as far as women in the business, and I thought she was, of course, very attractive. And other than that, there was never anything there, and it was just sort of a gradual evolution. You know, I was unhappy in my marriage years and years prior to that, so you know, it's just kind of, it was a good thing that happened at a good time for me and for her. You know.
Talking about Elizabeth, was it tense between you and Randy at the time when you started, I guess, having a relationship with Elizabeth at all?
Randy wasn't really with the company anymore at that point, so there wasn't any tension that he had. And when Randy was around me, when he came back, worked to come together, he didn't show any tension at all.
Right.
I certainly had none towards him. So from my side, there was none.
Right.
You know, no, I certainly had none towards him. And he didn't indicate anything towards me. So, as far as I know, none at all.
Right.
You know.
A lot of guys we've done interviews with say that Randy was really, at the time when he had a relationship with her, that was really overprotective of Elizabeth, and he would lock her in, you know, rooms and stuff like that, and was like really.
I had heard that. Yeah.
Right. What is your favorite memory of Elizabeth?
Oh God, there's a million. You know.
Because I want to start talking about her now.
A lot of good memories.
What do you remember about that day? What really happened? Because, you know, so far we've only heard one side of the story. I'd like to hear.
Well, I respected her family. I've never discussed it because they want anything medical or anything else to be made private. So I respected her family's wishes on that.
Right.
All I know is she was fine one second, the next second I was calling 911. It was just mind-boggling. I mean, she was standing right next to me talking to me. The microwave, I was heating up mashed potatoes and meatloaf in the microwave for both of us. We were watching a movie. I was gone almost that whole day. But I'm going to my son's basketball tournaments, AU tournaments, and I just gotten home a little while before that. I was gone the whole day, and she was standing next to me 1 minute, and the next minute I thought she was asleep on the couch. And I was calling 911.
Right.
So.
A lot of people, I don't want you to get mad at me for saying, a lot of people said that she could have been like pills or something like that.
No, there's actually, I can't say this, and God's honest truth, there was no element of any kind of like drugs in her system as far as illegal drugs. Let me put it that way.
Right. What about like prescriptions, like somas or anything like that?
No, it was alcohol related.
Okay.
As far as I know. Now her family's been very private even with me.
Right.
And that's their choice.
Right.
But as far as I know, it was.
Is that what the autopsy said? I don't ever remember what the autopsy said.
I've never seen it.
Right.
And her family, I guess, asked for it to be held private, and I think it has been. I don't know. But once again, I'm not an internet guy. I don't know. It's probably, I don't know what's forged, what's real. We're hearing about George Bush right now with documents that weren't real about his army guards. So what's out there about me, or what I've been charged with, or what Liz may have died of? I have no idea whether that's true or false. Her family's very private. She was a private person. I'm a private person, and I respect that. And her family wanted everything to remain private. That's why I never spoke out. I never tried to defend myself, not defend myself, say anything, because I respect her memory, because I loved her very much and her family. You know.
What did you go through the next 24 hours with you know, all of that, as far as?
Oh, it was rough, man, because they tore my house apart and did stuff that I felt on 99.999% of 911 calls would have never been done if it wasn't like Luger.
Right.
So instead of being able to mourn someone I loved very much, it was You know, I was sitting in jail cell, so it was rough.
How did you handle that mentally?
Like I said, you got to get through what you get through, man. You know.
Right.
I got 2 kids to support, and you got to try to move on. You know. You know, got to take the good with the bad. You know.
Did they let you out within 24 hours, or did you have to stay in there? Did a lot of your peers, you talked earlier about Sting, you said he helped you through a lot of it. Did a lot of other guys come forward? And you
Yeah,
found out you
I
were
talked to quite a few guys.
Vince McMahon, they did a...
Once again, I'm a private person, so I didn't talk to too many guys.
Right.
I respected her family, and that I'm a very private person, so I didn't really talk about it much.
What's the latest with the charges and all? Is it still ongoing?
It's about to come to an end.
You think it's going to go your way, or you don't know?
I certainly think it should. My gosh, I mean.
What are they charging with you? Just distribution?
And you know what? I don't even know what.
Right.
If they find 3 of something, it's like 1 felony charge. So I never even looked over what they said they found.
Right.
So, you know, and my place was left, my door was left wide open. So I mean, to be technical, for a search warrant game, somebody could come in there and place stuff in my house. And I'm not trying to be a wise guy or anything, but the whole thing is so bogus that and ridiculous. I mean, it was just a total invasion of my privacy, and for no reason other than I think of who I was. And I think that if that situation happened in any other home, and it wasn't me in Cobb County, that never would have happened. You know, so, you know, I'm not complaining about it, I'm not whining about it, I'm going through it, and what I got to go through, and nothing's ever a sure thing, but I certainly think things will be cleared up, and I'll be vindicated as far as, you know, not being guilty of any criminal offenses.
Now, before that tragic day was...
I hope.
Before that tragic day, was Elizabeth always acting normal, or was she, did you ever see any problems with, like, you know, partying or whatever?
She partied. She drank some and partied a little bit, like nothing out of the ordinary in our profession or in the entertainment industry at all, for sure. I mean, you know, I don't want to do any invasion. Once again, a huge invasion of her family or her privacy. But I mean, she was not over the top. That's why it was so shocking.
Do you think
there was nothing she did that was like totally over the top?
Right. Do you think it was the lifestyle of being on the road all the time? Because, you know, she was never really taking bumps and stuff like that. Or do you just think it was being around the business?
Or do you think she's getting a bad rap because of all the drug deaths in wrestling with all the wrestlers over the last 7 years? You know how they make a big deal about that now in the newspaper. Who's that one guy that's always writing against Vince McMahon in the paper?
Munchkin.
Yeah. How he has this thing now in the newspaper. They had a thing in USA Today about all the wrestlers that have died. I guess like the Rick Rude, Louis Piccoli, and all that.
Yeah, and you
think she's?
We don't hear about when all the IBM employees or people who die from heart attacks. And,
think she's unfairly put in there?
Diets. So yeah, I think it's very unfair.
Right.
If we did a portrait of any major company, I'm sure.
Like Wall Street guys.
Yeah,
that whole...
those guys die and party and stuff too.
Right.
But they're not on TV, so you don't hear about it.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think it's. I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that it's not a problem, but in any way.
Looking back, did you think there was a problem there, or did you just think it was like a, you know?
If I thought there was any kind of problem that would be in any way fatal, my gosh, no, that totally, absolutely blindsided me.
Did that change your lifestyle at all since that incident, or?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it has to. Yeah.
Do you think Vince crossed the line with the betrayal of your role in her death on Confidential?
I don't know anything about it.
Did you know about?
My lawyer had asked me never to comment on anything about it, and I've never watched any TV on it. I was too broke up about it, so I didn't watch or read stuff. So.
They painted you in a bad light, and they basically played your 911 call, but like in a mocking way. It wasn't.
I'm sure they may have. I mean, I don't know.
Do you know why Vince would do that? Why he holds a gripe? And
You'd have to ask him that. I don't know.
Right.
I didn't know he did that, so you're telling me this is for the first time. I don't know.
Were you ever contacted by anybody in the WWE to comment on that piece at all that they did?
Yeah, I think they called my gym one time and wanted me to comment on an article in the magazine about Elizabeth and wanted my input, and it was her family. I respect her family. I never returned the call because I didn't think it was appropriate at all for me to comment.